The Uber driver never arrived at my destination. His last message chills me to the bone. It was a chilly October evening when I decided to book an Uber. Little did I know, this seemingly ordinary ride would turn into a nightmare that still haunts me to this day. I had just finished a long day at work and was eager to get home. The app showed that my driver, John, would arrive in about 5 minutes. Perfect, I thought. Just enough time to gather my things and head outside. As I waited, I watched the little car icon on my phone screen inch closer and closer to my location. But then, something strange happened. The car stopped moving. It was just a block away, but it wasn't coming any closer. I thought maybe John had run into some traffic, so I waited a bit longer. 5 minutes turned into 10, then 15. I started to worry. I sent a message through the app. "Hey, is everything okay?" No response. Another 5 minutes passed, and I was getting frustrated. I tried calling John, but it went straight to voicemail. This was getting ridiculous. I was about to cancel the ride when suddenly, I got a notification. John had sent me a message. "I'm sorry, but I can't make it to your location. Something has come up." I breathed a sigh of relief. At least he wasn't dead or something. I replied, asking if everything was all right and if he needed any help. But what he said next made my blood run cold. "You don't understand, they won't let me leave." I stared at my phone screen trying to make sense of his words. Who were they? What did he mean they wouldn't let him leave? I typed back, asking for clarification, but John had gone silent. I quickly canceled the ride and booked another Uber. As I waited, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. I kept checking my phone, hoping for another message from John, but none came. When my new driver arrived, I practically jumped into the car. I just wanted to get home and forget about this whole bizarre experience. But as we drove away, I couldn't help but look back at the spot where John's car had been stuck, and that's when I saw it. A dark figure standing in the shadows of a nearby alley. It was too far away to make out any details, but I could have sworn it was staring right at me. I turned back around, my heart racing. I told myself it was just my imagination, that I was letting John's cryptic message get to me, but deep down I knew something was very, very wrong. The rest of the ride passed in a blur. When I finally got home, I locked the door behind me and collapsed onto the couch. I tried to tell myself that everything was fine, that John had probably just had car trouble or something, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I had narrowly escaped something terrible. I didn't sleep much that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that dark figure in the alley, watching me. I kept checking my phone, hoping for a message from John saying that everything was okay, but none came. The next day, I contacted Uber support to report what had happened. They told me they would look into it and get back to me, but as the days turned into weeks, I heard nothing. It was like John had vanished off the face of the earth. I tried to move on with my life, but I couldn't stop thinking about that night. The image of that figure in the alley haunted my dreams. I started to feel like I was being watched all the time, like something was following me. And then one day I got a notification on my phone. It was a message from John. My heart nearly stopped when I saw his name on my screen. With shaking fingers, I opened the message. "I'm sorry for what happened that night. I never meant to scare you. But you have to understand, I had no choice. They were watching me, controlling me. I couldn't escape." I stared at the message, trying to make sense of it. Who was controlling him? What did they want with me? I started to type a response, but before I could hit send, another message came through. "I can't talk for long. They're coming for me. But I needed to warn you. They're watching you too. Be careful. Trust no one." And with that, John went offline. I tried to call him, but his number had been disconnected. I was left with nothing but a sense of dread and a million unanswered questions. I wish I could say that was the end of it, that John's warning was just the ramblings of a troubled mind. But in the weeks that followed, strange things started happening. I would wake up in the middle of the night to find my apartment door unlocked, even though I knew I had locked it before going to bed. I would get strange calls from unknown numbers, voices on the other end that sounded distorted and inhuman. And then, one day, I saw it again, the dark figure from the alley. It was standing across the street from my office watching me. I blinked and it was gone. I knew I couldn't ignore it any longer. I packed a bag and left town that night, not telling anyone where I was going. I've been on the run ever since, always looking over my shoulder, never staying in one place for too long. I don't know who or what is after me. I don't know what they want. All I know is that I can't stop running, because if they catch me, I'm afraid of what will happen.